History and Biography is sponsored by Wells Fargo.
Hello, I'm Walter Isaacson, and it's an honor to be celebrating the National Book Festival's theme of ingenuity. As a biographer, I've always been fascinated by the paragons of ingenuity, from Leonardo da Vinci to Benjamin Franklin to Albert Einstein to Steve Jobs. And I've found there's a special connection between ingenuity and that category of thinking that Thomas Jefferson labeled imagination. I've met and written about a lot of smart people in my life. And one thing I've learned is that smart people are a dime a dozen. They don't usually amount to much. What matters is imagination, that ability to, as Steve Jobs said, think different. As Einstein wrote, imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress. Einstein was merely a third-class clerk at the Swiss Patent Office when he discovered the special theory of relativity, and he did it through thought experiments, through imagination. As he looked at patent applications for using light and radio signals to synchronize clocks, he started to imagine, what would it be like if I rode alongside a light wave? What if I tried to catch up with it? And he realized that clocks would be synchronized differently depending on how you were moving. There are many keys to unlocking imagination. One of them, one that's common to all the people I've written about, is curiosity, pure curiosity. When Benjamin Franklin first sailed to England as a young man in order to buy supplies and to become a printer and a book publisher, he was told by the sailors that it took a day less to get over than it did to come back. Franklin was curious, and he kept lowering barrels into the ocean, taking the temperature of the water. And thus he was able to be the first person to chart the Gulf Stream, just out of curiosity, pure curiosity. His kite flying experiment is iconic, and it came out of the curiosity about why lightning shares so many similarities with electrical sparks. As he wrote in his notebook, let the experiment be made. Speaking of notebooks, my favorite entry in any notebook is in Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks, where in the margin he writes, describe the tongue of the woodpecker. Now, who wakes up one morning and says they need to know how to figure out what the tongue of a woodpecker looks like? I mean, what do? Find a woodpecker? Open. But Leonardo did. Leonardo da Vinci, out of curiosity, out of pure curiosity. I'm now writing a book about Jennifer Doudna and the discovery of the gene editing technology known as CRISPR. It begins also with a pursuit that was driven just by curiosity, pure curiosity. Why do some bacteria have odd sequences in their DNA? The answer led not only to a tool that can edit DNA, edit our genes, but also to a tool that will enable us to defeat coronavirus and future viral pandemics. The other key to unlocking imagination is the ability to connect the arts and the sciences. Whenever Steve Jobs launched a new product, he ended his slide presentation with a sign showing the intersection of two streets, the liberal arts and technology street. And when he launched the iPhone, he explained, we believe that it's technology married with the humanities that yields the result that makes our hearts sing. That's the glory of the National Book Festival. It celebrates curiosity. It allows us to embrace the arts and the sciences. And thus, it stimulates our imagination and leads to ingenuity. Thank you.